The tumulus of Bougon consists of 5 burrows dating back to 4,800 BC. Over time, the 5 chambers have become a single prehistoric monument and the third oldest building in the world. In 1840, the tumulus was rediscovered and scavenged by archaeologists for insight into what life was like during the Neolithic era. During its excavation, about 200 skeletons were found in 3 layers separated by stone slabs. They also found ancient pottery, beads, chains of seashells, and stone tools like a diorite mace. Evidence suggests that the tumulus was sealed with a stone slab shortly after construction and again reused by a different culture 1,000 years later for more burials. There are minimal accounts of prior construction fails that influenced the tumulus. However, based on the construction process, I can infer that previous failures included wall and roof collapses, along with occasional flooding. It's plausible that the roof, which is supported only by 2 pillars, could have caved in due to a lack of support. As a result, the constructors used a beehive technique to preserve the mound roofing for thousands of years. Floods may have influenced the construction because they learned from past mistakes and created passageways that would help excessive water flow into the river and escape the tumulus. Tumulus of Bougon was built toward the end of the Neolithic era and gives insight into the lifestyle and culture of how people lived during this time. Nearby villages likely consisted of 50 to 300 people, most of whom likely helped haul the building materials, which makes sense due to the lack of machinery during this time frame. The tumuli serves as a perfect demonstration of funerary architecture, which was widespread throughout the Neolithic era. Around the same time, humans had begun evolving agricultural practices, modifying stone tools, pottery making, as well as the domestication of animals. Livestock, grain, and pottery accounted for currency, and interestingly enough, archaeologists would dig up pottery necklaces and tools inside one of the chambers. Our ancestors knew that digging down into earth was inconvenient, so tumuli around the world were the initial practices of building upward rather than digging down through rocks, roots, stones, and other dirts. The construction process was basic in idea, but required a heckload of manual labor. Each mound consists of a rectangular chamber and a few passageways, and there are 5 of them. The massive stone slabs enclosing the chamber acted as pilings, and a reference to the overall sizing. Dry stone walling is a building method originating from Europe, where structures are made from stones and bound with mortar to fill gaps between rocks and reinforce the structure. Meanwhile, the roof was constructed with a beehive technique, or a domed roofing. The only possible framework includes rope to help keep slabs in place, as you can see in the photo. However, there is no other evidence that framework was used while building the tumulus. Since then, many millennia have passed, and the building processes have become further developed. Since the advent of the Industrial Revolution, there are a few changes that can be utilized if building the tumulus today. First of all, we have machines to help carry 90-ton rocks, along with modified tools and equipment, specifically dry stone masonry tools. We should also include wooden doors at entrances rather than a heavy stone slab, which would also deter flooding. Lastly, hire an architect for a layout more suited for burying coffins or bodies. The tumulus of Bougon predates common falsework practices. However, post-industrial revolution conductors would shore walls for more robust support instead of ropes to help hold the chamber stones outline. They would also utilize shield trench walls with trench boxes just to be safe. I plan to visit this special monument if I find myself in France.